and then right after him comes in Jermaine, over 4,000 yards, only the third local player to ever do that, so consistency, he's been there week after week for us for 4 years.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck this morning. All right, kickoff is next between Sacred Heart and St. John's. You're watching St. John's football on WLNY, New York 55. The field, Barry Landers along with C.J. Papa. We're just about moments away from the start of today's game. And kicking off downfield, St. John's will recover upfield at the 20-yard line as it's taken by fullback Patrick Keena, and Keena will turn to about the 34-yard line. St. John's with the ball first and 10 at the 34-yard line. The initial tackle made by Sacred Heart's Michael Toto. We'll take a look at quarterback Mark Levine as he brings his club to the line of scrimmage. Not quite the numbers he had last year, but certainly numbers that have gotten St. John's to a 7-3 record. So here we go, first and 10 for St. John's. They'll operate out of the single setback, and that is, of course, Jermaine Creighton. And back to throw, surprisingly, on first down, Levine throwing. You could see the effect of the winds as he tried to get that little pass off to Jermaine Creighton.
Certainly a surprise, maybe a little wrinkle there. Take a look at the St. John's offense. Levine, Delisle, Cheliotis, Creighton, Keena. On the offensive line, James Paul, Leprotosa, Gordon, Denardi, and Gaines.
It'll be second down for the Red Storm at the 34-yard line. The offense has struggled a bit of late. They've played in bad weather. And again, this time on a draw play, this is Creighton, tripped up as he got to the 35-yard line after a very short game. And it was tripped up by Eric Wood. Take a look at the defense of Sacred Heart. Kuchar, Nota, Thompson, and Penny on the front four. And Adam Full is a dandy linebacker. He's the best they have out there.
Really is. Leading tackler.
And a secondary that's been prone to give up some big plays back there. And we'll see what happens right here as St. John's faces a 3rd and 8 situation. 3rd and 8 for the Red Storm at the 36-yard line. Mark Levine will hand off inside, and this is the fullback, Keena, no hole. Sacred Heart stuffing it at the line of scrimmage. Eric Penny, Greg Nota, a couple of the guys in to stop the play, and it'll set up a punting situation. And this should be an adventure right now for St. John's as far as punting for both clubs.
Well, and if you're a Sacred Heart coach, Tom Radulski, you have to be happy. Your team has given up a lot of points this year. You come out, you stop St. John's 3 and out. Confidence builder.
And the punter is Mike Houston. Remember, did a great job a couple of weeks ago in our last telecast against Canisius. The wind is a crosswind, and he gets this one, sails it pretty good downfield, and it sends Sacred Heart back. It'll be bouncing by Gallegani inside the 10, rolling inside the 5, and with the wind just keep rolling it toward the end zone, it'll be finally down at about the 1-yard line. A 61-yard kick. We'll be back in just a moment. Barry Landers along with C.J. Papa, and we have no score early in this first quarter. Sacred Heart with the ball started at the 1-yard line. While we were away, a couple of plays run, one by the fullback Toby Lauda moments ago, and the quarterback keeper. They put the ball out to about the 7-yard line where it's 3rd and 3. They'll work out of the I formation. Peter Flora, number 19, the quarterback, and they will hand off to Washington, and Washington stuffed gang tackle by that swarming St. John's defense as they quickly around that football right there, stopping it well shy of the first down. Elliot Holtz getting up there, one of the guys who was in on the play along with Richie Hoseen.
Well, we'll see it a lot this afternoon, this morning. Terrence Washington likes to run outside, but against a very fast St. John's defense, it's not going to happen.
You see the starting skilled position players. Now the punt coming from the end zone. And this will be Tony Palazzi. Palazzi gets this upfield. It is taken at the 38-yard line, and it'll be brought back for a couple of yards by James Morton to around the 33, 34-yard line. St. John's will have excellent field position thanks to that 61-yard punt with the help of the wind by Mike Houston.
When you're playing in a very windy day, field position becomes extremely important. The kicking game is also important. We saw the punt a few moments ago by St. John's, and when Gallegani didn't catch the ball, and he's got to catch the ball, they lost at least 25 yards.
All right, St. John's takes over in great field position, 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. Morton lined up wide to the left. Creighton trying to get away, and is tripped up in the backfield by Eric Penny. What a terrific job by the very quick nose guard out of Clifton Park, New York, who's had a terrific season, Eric Penny, just a freshman.
Well, take another look. Number 52, Eric Penny, will bust through the middle of the offense. No one blocks him. Jermaine Creighton, no chance on that one.
And it is a big loss for Creighton. 2nd and 14 from the 33, a loss of 4 out of the I formation. Keena is the fullback. They try Creighton. This time he tries to bounce off the right side, and he has stood up and brought down Sacred Heart coming to play so far early. Adam Fuller, the middle linebacker, on the stop.
Well, Adam Fuller, Division II non-scholarship All-American player last year. He should be one again this year. He had 103 tackles last year. He has 87 issues. He's averaging about 10 tackles a game. He's very active, very good. Number 1 for Sacred Heart, Adam Fuller.
Kind of ironic, he wears number 1 and is number 1 in tackles the last couple of years. So 3rd and long for St. John's, 3rd and 14. Levine to throw. Looking, has plenty of time. Now throwing short, complete to Keena at the 35-yard line. Only about a 3-yard gain, and he's wrapped up very quickly right there by, once again, Adam Fuller. And it'll set up a 4th down situation. And Joe Avino, number 37, on the tackle.
Well, I think right there, I think Mark Levine, his first option, he was looking down the field to James Morton, but Lenny Francoeur was all over him, stayed with him all the way. He had to go underneath. It wasn't there for St. John's. It's their second punt.
Houston will punt from about the 45-yard line. As we mentioned, even the snaps on these punts are an adventure. Kicks it high, trying to get St. John's coverage downfield. They have men down there. They'll try to down it inside the 10. It'll bounce out of bounds inside the 5. And again, St. John's pinning Sacred Heart very deep in their own territory, CJ.
Oh, beautiful punt on that one.
Houston has done a terrific job punting, according to Bob Ricka, and talks about people that have pleased him. Certainly so many players on the defense. We mentioned Zito, but a couple of those freshmen have been outstanding as well, including Elliot Holtz and Richie Hossein, who plays the middle linebacker spot. So it'll be right now 1st down, and they take over at the 4-yard line. Peter Flores' numbers you see right there. Single setback is Washington. And on the option, here's Flora running niftily and shoved from behind across the 15, has the 1st down as he picks up the 1st down, brought down by Elliot Holtz. And we'll take a look at the starting lineup for Sacred Heart once again.
So you saw Peter Flora there on the option. Gallegani, Wilkinson, McCoy, Terrence Washington, you've heard a lot about him, and Toby Lauder.
And as we see, Flora can run. It's an offensive line that has struggled this year, but Palazzi's the best at the center position.
He's also the punter. He's going to get a lot of work today.
Flora's carried the ball twice for 14 yards, picked up the 1st down there. That was a big play. Flora now staying on the ground, and they'll go to Toby Lauder, and he'll punch out a couple of yards to about the 20, setting up a 2nd down situation. Our referee is Gerard Hughes. And our umpire, Robert McNeil, headline Jerry Considine. Line judge is Peter Burke. Let's take a look at the St. John's defensive line.
Eric Grazan, Greg DeCarlo, Elliot Hulse, freshman, a lot of tackles for losses. Anthony Zito, you'll see a lot of him in the backfield putting pressure on the quarterback. Ozine Feason-Prophet, solid at linebacker.
This time stood up and fumbling the football was Washington. It's still loose. And St. John's has been an opportunistic team all year. One of the leaders in turnover ratio comes up with the ball. Elliot Holtz, number 72, coming up with the football.
As you mentioned that, Barry, St. John's is 6th in the nation in Division I AA in turnover margin. Let's take a look and see how the ball comes loose. He loses the ball. Picked up by Elliot Host. Nice play by the freshman.
Well, Washington was hit. He's been fumble prone this year. That's been the tendency. And St. John's takes over in great field position. 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Trying to punch it in early in this scoreless ball game. Creighton, and he will not get away from James Thompson, number 99 from the weak side, brought him down. Along with Mike Kuchar. Thompson out of Amityville, a local player. And it'll set up a 2nd down play. Boy, they have stuffed the running of St. John's.
Really keying on Jermaine Creighton, number 22 for St. John's.
So no gain, actually a loss of 1 on the play. It's 2nd and 11 from the 14-yard line. Creighton and Keena in the backfield behind quarterback Mark Levine. Morton wide to the right, DeLeo wide to the left, looking for Morton. And it is going to be complete short gain, actually DeLeo on the reception. at the 11-yard line. Only a pickup of 3. It'll set up 3rd and long.
Well, you have to try a pass there, try and loosen up, open up the defense so you can get the running game going. Right now, the St. John's offensive line, Gaines, Donardi, Gordon, Lepertosa, and Paul, they're not doing a very good job. They're getting beaten off the snap by Thompson, Noda, Penny, and Eric Wood for Sacred Heart.
All right, this time Morton will line up wide to the right. Steve Calbarrow wide to the left. Obvious passing situation on 3rd and 6. Instead, they'll go to Creighton, tries to turn the corner. Creighton at the 10, dances to the far side, dives toward the end zone. He's in! Jermaine Creighton with a 9-yard touchdown run, his 7th touchdown of the year, and the Red Storm are on the board.
Classic play by St. John's. We've seen that many times. We saw it twice against St. Peter's in almost the same exact position, in the same exact spot. They run Jermaine Creighton to the left, his speed to the outside, and he gets into the end zone. A beautiful play, well designed by St. John's.
So St. John's takes advantage of the great field position after the poor punt and the extra point try by Soto. Creighton now has carried the ball 5 times for a net of 6 yards and the 1 touchdown. That one, of course, a 9-yard touchdown run. Calbar's the holder, and Soto is the place kicker. He's kicked 16 of 18 extra points this year. This one up, and this one, despite the wind, is through the uprights. And St. John's early in this first half takes a 7-0 lead. We'll be right back. You're watching St. John's football on New York 55. Is one on the far side, and as you look to the near side, it appears to be Mike Griffin. So St. John's will be kicking off. 9-yard touchdown run by Jermaine Creighton. 36th career touchdown run in his outstanding career. Now St. John's 3 plays, 14 yards, and the Creighton 9-yard touchdown run has given them the lead. And again, we'll await the kick here. The wind is such a factor that Soto needs Patrick Keenan to hold the ball. This will be a short kick. O'Coin will take it at the 16-yard line. O'Coin nowhere to go and is knocked down as he got to around the 25-yard line by Andrew Prophet, outside linebacker for the Red Storm. So Sacred Heart, which twice has been pinned back inside their own 5-yard line, will take over 1st and 10 here.
Well, the last time, they were driving the ball a little bit. They got away from their own end zone, and then they fumbled the ball, and Terrence Washington fumble prone this year. St. John's opportunistic defense.
Pitch to O'Coin. O'Coin chase, breaks a tackle, picks up about 8 yards. Anthony Zito was about several St. John's players over there. And he's finally brought down by Richie. About 8 on the play.
Well, Tim O'Coin, he moved from defensive back to running back. He's a very good receiver out of the backfield. Doesn't really run the ball much, Barry. When they like to throw, they give it to him.
So it'll be right now 2nd down and 2 at the 33-yard line. That'll be I formation. They go to the fullback, Louder, trying to pick up the 1st down. And he appears to have it as he crosses the 35 to around the 36-yard line. Brought down after the short pickup. Bob Ricka looking on the sideline with the headset on.
On that play, Toby Lauder, classic fullback, powerful runner. You just need a couple of yards to give it to him. He can get it for you.
Louder's carried 3 times for 10 yards. Ball up at the 36-yard line, 1st and 10. St. John's leading 7-0. 6:16 to go in this first quarter. On Thanksgiving morning, again, they stay to the fullback, and Louder punches out a couple of yards. Stopped by, again, Richie Hosine, the freshman from Bethpage, who's the number 5 tackler on the St. John's defense. St. John's defense has only given up 260 yards a game.
Well, there's Tom Radulski. You see him, black cap, headset on, his first year as the head coach here at Sacred Heart. They're 1-8. They haven't had a very good year, but his players are still into it. He hasn't lost them. They want to play. They want to win today.
There's that defense, which has been the story for St. John's this year, helping them to a 7-3 record. on the option. The pitch to Washington, and he shoved out of bounds shy of the first down as he was run out by Floyd Chambers, the right cornerback. So Washington picks up some short yardage. It'll be 3rd and about 3 as they'll mark the football at around the 43-yard line. They've got to get to the 46.
They picked the right side to run the option to. Anthony Zito lined up on the right side, number 24 for St. John's, and he was just about to get the quarterback when he flipped the ball away to Washington.
Joe Corselli lines up as a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen, matched up against St. John's best Richie Rodriguez. They'll stay on the ground with the fullback Louder, and he will not get the first down. Got maybe a yard to the 45. Greg Del Colo, number 52, sophomore from Smithtown, who replaced Mike Simone when Simone got hurt earlier this year and had to go out after thumb surgery.
I don't like that play there, Barry. I mean, 4 yards against this defense, you're not going to get it. Yet you really look for the pass. You can throw a 5 or 6 yard pass in this wind.
High snap, Tony Palazzi just got it away. Prophet looked to block it over the head of Martin, and fortunately for St. John's, I thought it was going to bounce into the end zone, but no, it bounced out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Well, I mean, maybe a little freshman mistake there by Morton. You have to try and catch that ball because you're going to lose field position, and tough play.
So St. John's now backed up inside the 5-yard line. And they'll take over 1st and 10. Barry Landers, C.J. Papa. Hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving morning. St. John's trying to go 8-3 and finish a very productive season. Jermaine Creighton, who scored on the 9-yard touchdown run, lines up in the end zone with Patrick Kina. And Creighton straight ahead will try to bounce out a couple of yards to maybe the 3 or 4-yard line as he's stopped by that Sacred Heart defense, which has done a good job except for that one play by Jermaine Creighton as he went around the left end for the touchdown.
Maybe a function of, as I mentioned earlier, the offensive line for St. John's. Coach Bob Brook is starting a number of freshmen. He has a new freshman in there today, John Leprotosa, the freshman from Jamaica who went to Chaminade High School. And maybe it's a matter of getting a little chemistry going early on a very chilly, windy day.
2nd and 8, 2-yard pickup for Jermaine Creighton. He's again lined up in the backfield. Levine looking for the quick out pattern. DeLeo was the intended receiver, incomplete. As defending on the play was Lenny Francoeur, number 27.
I think Francoeur got away with a bump. That looked like interference to me. He knocked him before the ball got there.
You know, with the wind that we have today, CJ, the only passes are going to be short and medium range passes. You cannot put the ball up in the air for any distance beyond 15 yards maybe.
Because the ball will just blow away from the receiver and could be intercepted.
So St. John's now facing 3rd and 8. Calbera wide to the left, Morton wide to the right. Draw play, Creighton slipped one tackle, dives and will get to the 11-yard line, still shy of the first down. Picked up about 7 or 8 on the play and brought down after a good run by Michael Griffin, number 34, the defensive back.
Well, we talked about field position being a key here in this game with the way the wind is, and now we'll see St. John's having to punt from their own end zone, and we'll see how the wind affects it, and we'll see if Dave Gallegani can catch it and get a good return and put Sacred Heart in good field position.
Remember, Houston had a 61-yard punt that forced Sacred Heart back inside the 5 to start this game. He'll kick from the goal line, just got it away. This one will be watched by Gallegani, and he'll watch it bounce out of bounds at around the 39, 40-yard line. So Sacred Heart will have the good field position here, CJ.
It'll be interesting to see if they try and pound out, try and get some first downs. They really have to score.
Well, as you mentioned, this offense has been shut out 4 times this year, Sacred Heart. They come off a loss to Pace. They had 1 win earlier in the year, and that's been it, as they came up with a victory earlier this year when they beat Assumption 27-0. But they played a tough schedule in the Eastern Football Conference. The Division II team that'll go to 1AA non-scholarship football next year. Out of the I formation, Flora to throw, hit as he unloads, and it's out of bounds, intended for the tight end Chris Wilkinson along the near sideline. He got leveled as he unleashed that ball.
Well, Anthony Zito really gets a lot of pressure on the quarterback. We'll take a look. Coming from the top of your screen, number 24. Here he comes. You can feel it. Knocks him down. Causes Peter Flora to throw the ball a little too early.
How often have we seen Anthony Zito do that to quarterbacks this year? He's had 13.5 sacks, 22 tackles for losses. 2nd down. Flora will go to Lauda, and Lauder will bang a couple of yards inside the 40 to around the 38-yard line. Brought down after a short gain by Eric Gazan for St. John's, or rather Rob Feast, number 40.
Feast, the team leader in tackles. He has 97 so far this year. He really anchors the middle. When you have a guy like Feast, who you know is going to be there on every play, it makes it easier for a guy like Zito to freelance, and really it gives St. John's a 1-2 combination that many offenses can't handle.
Lauder 6 carries for 16 yards. This time Flora in trouble and will be sacked. Zito was in like a lightning bolt along with Richie Hoseen, number 92.
I tell you, Rich Hoseen, that was a beautiful play right off the snap, right in on the quarterback making the play.
You know, you look at this St. John's defense, they've got just about everybody back except Richie Rodriguez. There's the wind blowing right there. You can see the effect gusting up to about 40, 45 miles. Here's the punt coming off the foot of Tony. A touchback. It looked like it was heading out of bounds.
St. John's catching a break there. The last one bounced at the 2-yard line. This one goes in. St. John's will have some breathing room. They'll be able to operate on offense.
In case you're just tuning in, St. John's leads by a score of 7-0. St. John's recovering a fumble by Terrence Washington and going for the score in a 9-yard touchdown run by Jermaine Creighton.
Well, Creighton really hasn't had a lot of room to operate. I'd have to say we expected a little bit more from the St. John's offense early in this game, and he's the only back in the backfield right now.
They go with a 3 wide receiver set. Keena lined up in a slot to the left. Creighton will get the handoff, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage by Mario Torres, number 47, the outside linebacker, senior from Granville, New York, who's the number 3 tackler.
Well, they lined Patrick Keena out on the outside, trying to stretch the defense, making him a receiver, 3 receivers, but it didn't work because the middle of that Sacred Heart defense didn't bite.
Creighton 8 carries for 14 yards, so with the exception of that 1 9-yard run, they have shut him down, CJ. Again, a 3 wide receiver set. Quick strike here to Morton, has a blocker. Morton trying to follow a block of DeLeo and loses the football. And let's see, Sacred Heart has recovered. Michael Griffin with a hit, and Sacred Heart with a rare St. John's turnover on the fumble after the reception.
Boy, he was hammered by Michael Griffin. Opportunistic play by Sacred Heart.
You see Lenny Francoeur getting up late, number 27. Let's take a look at the replay, CJ.
Well, Levine looks out to Morton, and he drops the ball right there on a hit when he spun around. Sacred Heart pounces on it.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Sacred Heart at the 32-yard line, their best field position, and they trail 7-0. Joe Corselli will line up with Dave Gallegani in a slot to the top of your screen to the right. Wilkinson lined up to the left. Working out of the eye, and on the keeper, Flora, he faked to the fullback, Lauder, and he will get maybe to the line of scrimmage. St. John's stopping the play very quickly.
Well, they need about 10 yards for a field goal attempt, and to get on the board and get in this game. That's if they let number 3, Dennis Westcamp, who's their long kicker, try and kick this one, Barry, if they don't make first down within 2 or 3 plays.
Elliot Holtz on the last stop, so again, they'll work out of the eye. 1 minute to go in this fast-moving first quarter. St. John's in front 7-0. Flora looking to throw and will be sacked. Richie Hoseen, the inside linebacker, with the sack. And for St. John's on the year, that is the 37th sack of a quarterback.
I tell you, the offensive line for Sacred Heart never touched him. Richie Hoseen was in the backfield. Peter Flora had no chance. He was looking to go long, throw it up into the wind. Never a chance. That is a critical play.
Ball moved back to the 40-yard line. It's now 3rd and 18. So St. John's should be blitzing again here. Let's see if they try a screen. Prophet, number 49, racing around. Pitch to O'Coin down the sideline, and he'll be shoved out of bounds by Josiah Mooney, number 17, way shy of the first down, and Floyd Chambers also over there on the coverage, number 37.
This is a decision time. I think you really need to go for it. Your defense is playing well, even if you give the ball up.
Well, they'll take a timeout to talk it over, CJ. So They'll discuss things. Tom Rodolski, who replaced Gary Rejo, have a little bit of a discussion right here with his staff.
Probably what they're discussing is, can their defense, just a matter of field position. Can their punter pin them in if they decide to punt? I mean, if they try a field goal attempt, it'll be about 50 yards, which is not realistic in these wind conditions. They have a pretty good kicker who's kicking from about 43 yards into the wind, Dennis Westcamp. But here I say you might as well take a chance, go for it. If you make 5, you make it great. If you don't, your defense is playing too well. It's not going to take you out of the ball game.
Well, you see the wind whipping the flags on top of the post, and of course the wind a major factor. It's been blowing about 20, 25 miles an hour with gusts to 40, so the decision has been made. If you punt the ball and it goes into the end zone, your net is only going to be 14 yards.
Right.
And that certainly is a possibility. You can't expect to get those coffin corner kicks all the time.
And we know it won't be a quick kick because the punter is the center.
Well put. And that center is Anthony Tony Palazzi. It's 4th and 12. They'll line up with a slot to the left. O'Coin and Gallegani lined up at the bottom of your screen as wide receivers. And Flora in trouble, chased by Zito. Zito, one of a couple of the St. John's guys who got in there, along with Richie Hosine once again.
Well, it's probably the one thing Sacred Heart didn't want to happen is give up about 13 yards on a sack. Throw the ball away. We'll take another look. The bottom of your screen, you'll see number 24, Anthony Zito, fly in there. Flora had no chance.
Boy, he just blew by the blocking back louder. So St. John's takes over. So the defense, which has done it all year, giving St. John's great field position right here. Remember, they took over at around the 33-yard line, now up to the 46. Creighton trying to dance to the outside, got around one man, down the sideline. Creighton driven down after a huge pickup as he picked up the first down. Stopped by Ben Romeo, number 2, but not before he picked up big yardage. That's the end of the first quarter. Jermaine Creighton giving St. John's good field position. The Red Storm lead at 7-0 on New York 55. 55, Barry Landers along with C.J. Papa, and St. John's leading 7-0. That 21-yard run by Jermaine Creighton giving St. John's the ball. 32-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10. Mark Levine barks out the signals. Here is Creighton again trying that left side of the line. Got around one man. He got around Mario Torres, but could not get around Adam Fuller, who made the stop. It'll be a short pickup for St. John's Creighton as he gets the ball to around the 29-yard line. Give him a gain of about 3 and make it 2nd and 7.
I think we've seen the St. John's offense. They like to run the ball left. They pull the guard to Nardi, and they really are effective that way.
St. John's with Creighton running 10 times for 38 yards. 30 of those yards have come on 2 plays. So the other 8 times, they've done a pretty good job stopping him. Back to throw Levine, quick out to Calbera, and he'll catch it at the 26-yard line. Only about a 4-yard pickup. Steve Calbera, who has really emerged as one of the fine young receivers, former quarterback at Carl Place High School. He and James Morton have really drawn some praise from Coach Bob Ricca lately.
Well, Dwayne Ferris earlier this year was the hot man for them, but he hasn't played much recently, and Calbera has shouldered the load, doing a good job.
DeLeo and Morton lined up at the top of your screen as wide receivers. Calbera to the bottom. On the draw play, Creighton trying to turn it outside, cuts back nicely, has the first down and more, and we get a flag on the play as he got it to the 15, an 11-yard gain, but let's see if they bring it back.
I think it was a face mask at the end of that play.
Ross Newkirk, number 25, on the stop. And let's see what the call will be. It's a clip, however, against St. John's. Referee Gerard Hughes letting us know. So that will negate the 11-yard pickup by Creighton.
Obviously, we didn't see it the same way.
Well, we never do we, CJ?
I'd say nice run by Jermaine Creighton, though.
Yeah, he cut back nicely on that play, and that's the ability that he has. He sees the field very well. He's got doesn't have the burning speed. He's not a 4.4, 4.5 kind of guy, but so consistent, has missed just one game in his 4-year career here.
A terrible penalty in the sense that it takes them out of field goal range, and if it's 3rd and 14.
So Levine Will drop straight back. He's under pressure, screens it off. He's got blockers. Keena at the 30. Keena 25. Keena has the first down. Ripped down at the 20-yard line. Not before he picked up the first down. Dave Gallegani on the stop. And Patrick Keena running very strong after catching the screen pass.
We'll take another look at this and watch the penetration by Sacred Heart. And they're fooled with the nice little dump to Patrick Keena. He runs straight up the field, knows where he has to get to the first down, doesn't try and fake out a couple of players, puts his head down, and goes for the first down marker. That's the mark of a fullback.
Mark Levine 5 for 7 for 40 yards so far in this first half. St. John's with the first and 10 at the 19-yard line after the 17-yard pickup there. Again, this is Calbera. Option pass. Looking, he's got a man out in the end zone, and it floats away. He had DeLeo wide open in the corner of the end zone.
That play almost worked. It was beautifully drawn up.
That's a play that Bob Rickett told me last night they were planning to do. Calbera, former quarterback at Carl Place High School. And again, the wind had an effect on that pass.
Or maybe that's why he's the former quarterback. It wasn't a very accurate pass.
I think the wind had some effect on it. I'm going to take the, give him the benefit of the doubt. So it's now 2nd and 10 for St. John's. Morton lines up wide to the right. Mark Levine, the junior quarterback out of Freeport High School on Long Island. And this is Creighton off the left side, and he'll get to around the 16-yard line. Stopped by Mario Torres, the outside linebacker. So it'll set up a 3rd and about 6 as they mark the ball at the 16-yard line. Now changes made for Sacred Heart. Checking into the ball game, number 50, Mike Kuchar as a defensive player. Single setback is Creighton. Again, St. John's with a 4 wide receiver set here. See if they blitz here. They go on the draw. Creighton up the middle. Will bang inside the 10, close to the first down. It'll be real close. Had to get to around the 9-yard line.
Decision time here for Bob Rickett. I say go for it.
James Thompson on the stop, and I would have to agree with you. Yeah, especially it's an adventure kicking a field goal to go a yard or a half yard with the running ability of Creighton, and they're going to go for it.
Oh, they marked it a first down.
Marked it a first down. That was a quick mark. That's 1st and goal inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. St. John's leading 7-0. Creighton down at the 1-yard line. A quick burst off the left side, and he got it to the 1, a gain of 8 for Jermaine Creighton.
Take another look at this. Jermaine Creighton busts up the middle. Nice block by number 74, John Lapertosa, opening up that hole.
Yeah, he got Adam Fuller, the big guy in the middle, and he just did the job on him there. So on 2nd and goal, Creighton will try to dive and get in, but they stopped him shy of the goal line. Big pileup right there. And you see on top of the pile, a couple of the white shirts. Eric Wood, number 24. So Creighton's attempt to dive in for the 2nd touchdown is thwarted.
And there really hasn't been much in the middle except for maybe the last 2 plays before that. All in the first quarter, early here, or in the early part of the 2nd quarter. I think you have to run outside. I wouldn't be surprised to see a run left.
All right, Mark Levine looking back at Keena and Creighton, his running backs. On 3rd and goal, here's Creighton. Will walk into the end zone. Great call. They were expecting the play in the middle, and Creighton scores his 2nd touchdown of the day, and St. John's leads it 13-0.
Well, when Patrick Keena, you'll see him, when he lines up to the left side, and it almost acts as if there's an entire wall, and Jermaine Creighton will take the handoff, and he runs right behind it, untouched for his 2nd touchdown.
Creighton now 15 carries, 59 yards, and 2 touchdowns in his final game in a Red Storm uniform. 37th career touchdown. He had a couple last year against Sacred Heart in a 24-0 victory up in Connecticut. Soto to attempt the extra point from our end zone camera. You'll get a good view. The holder is Steve Calbera. Kick is up, and it is perfect through the uprights. And St. John's, with 11 minutes to go in this first half, has opened up a 14-0 lead. We'll be right back You're watching St. John's football on New York 55. I love New York. Barry Landers and C.J. Papa back at sunny but chilly and windy De Silva Field on the campus of St. John's University. Busy week for St. John's sports. Their soccer team going to be playing Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock up at Adelphi University on Long Island, taking on the University of South Florida as they continue their quest for another national championship.
That's right. They beat Brown in the first round last week.
And this will be taken by Washington, and Washington can't get away from the tackle of Kenny Kraft, the defensive back. Good coverage by Kraft. That'll be a big game for Dave Mazur's club. They're down to the final Sweet 16.
Well, I think as they get on in the tournament, they'll be playing teams that won't be packing it in defensively, and I think St. John's, their talent level is extremely high. Their skill level is very, very good. They have a very good chance to repeat.
If they win, they'll more than likely play at the University of Indiana next weekend. And that would be down to the round of 8, but they've got to get by the Sweet 16 game. That's Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, if you'd like to go down and support the Red Storm as they play at Adelphi University, hosting the team that knocked off Florida International. That's the team, of course, that last year St. John's beat in the championship. We had a penalty, as you could see, and they're going to redo the kick right here. So they'll bring it back. And they'll mark it at the 30-yard line. St. John's offside on the kick. If you're just tuning in, Jermaine Creighton with a couple of touchdown runs for St. John's. 9 yards and 1 yard out. Terrence Washington back to receive the kick, number 20. And also back there is Timmy O'Coin, number 8. Let's see the effect of the wind here as Soto steps forward. Pretty good kick away. And this will be taken at around the 7-yard line by Washington to the 20. And again, runs into the initial hit and is stuffed as he got to the 22-yard line. Kenny Kraft again said, hey, you cost me a tackle on that first one with the offside. I got to get my stats here.
Tim McCoy just missed the block on Ken Kraft, and Kraft was there and said, you're mine.
Also, down. Greg DeCampi, who plays on the special teams, was there for St. John. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line for Sacred Heart. Pioneers trailing St. John's by a score of 14-0. They are 0-5 against the Red Storm in their previous football meetings, series dating back to 1992. Oh, look at Washington. He was met and stuffed in the backfield, and it was Rob Feast and Elliot Holt saying hello.
Elliot Holt leads the team in tackles for loss with 28 coming into this game, and you're going to see him get another one. Watch the middle of your screen. Busts off the block, and he's in the backfield before you know it. Anthony Palazzi had no chance on that one. We've seen that a lot from this freshman. He has been a dynamic player.
Young man
St. John's.
Out of Baldwin High School on Long Island, exceptionally quick, as you can see. Disrupts backfields, and he's been doing it all year. 2nd down now and 15. And Flora handing off to the fullback, and Lauder will get a couple of yards as he bangs out to the 21-yard line. Greg Del Collo on the stop. Another one of the good-looking young players, just a sophomore for St. John's.
And these are the situations that you want if you're playing defense. 3rd and long, basically, you know, the defense can really tee off, go for the quarterback if they're going to try and throw the ball. In most cases they would. Here with the win, you never know.
Well, St. John's has had 4 sacks already. Anthony Zito 2.5 to give him an incredible 16 on the year. And this is the St. John's 11th game. 3rd and 11. And Flora, quick drop, just lobs it out to the far side. And getting wrapped up right there was Gallegani by Richie Rodriguez, who was all over him. So a very short gain on the play.
Nice play by Rodriguez, getting out there quickly, making the stop. You know, he's the only senior on this defense who's graduating. And if you're Bob Bricker, you have to like your chances next year with all these freshmen, as they'll be a year older.
And you got Zito back, a couple of outstanding juniors. And on offense, Jermaine Creighton is the only starter that really is graduating. Upfield, Keena mishandles it, picks it up, and he will be down at around the 35, 36-yard line by Jeff Hines, number 45. So again, as we mentioned, it is an adventure trying to field punts because the wind is just playing havoc with the ball out.
A nice play by Patrick Keena. You know, he misjudges the ball, and You know, you can excuse him because of the wind blowing right across the field here at St. John's. And, you know, he kept his composure, he got the ball, and he held on.
So Mark Levine, who's done a pretty good job with some short passes, and Jermaine Creighton with a couple of big runs. St. John's takes over 1st and 10 at the 38-yard line. Red Storm leading by a score of 14-0. They have rushed this year for just 11 touchdowns with the young offensive line, and Jermaine Creighton has scored 8 of those. This is Creighton again, trying to turn the corner. Gallegani coming up quickly, forced the play to go to the sideline, and Creighton goes out of bounds after maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage.
The Adam Fuller on that one, blitzing up the middle, was able to force it to the outside, and by that time, there was a line of white jerseys, and Creighton didn't have any chance to make any yards, ran out of bounds.
So good pursuit by Fuller, and also by Gallegani, who's going 2 ways. You don't see that, but they've really limited depth-wise, Sacred Heart, and they've got a lot of guys going 2 ways. Down and 9. Levine has Creighton lined up behind him. 3 wide receivers set. Here's Creighton, no hole. He's met in the backfield and driven back. Adam Fuller was the first guy that met him. And Chris Sherman as well, and Eric Penny. There you see Sherman, number 14, the senior from Evander Childs High School over in the Bronx. They have some local players on their Sacred Heart team. Sacred Heart's been playing football just 7 years, CJ, and it's a young program. The school's only 28 years old.
Well, they moved from club to Division III to Division II. Now they're moving to Division I AA and on scholarship. It's a lot of change very quickly.
3rd and 10. Levine dropping straight back, has time. Throwing up the middle, short. It'll be complete. Gus Cheliotis will be stopped shy of the first down as he picked up about 7 on the play and brought down by Lenny Francoeur, the defensive back. It'll be shy of the first down, and a decision for St. John's here.
I think you punt the ball.
Yeah, even though with the 14-0 lead, they will send in punter Mike Houston.
Field position is paramount on a day like today, and in any game. You know, when you have a football team, and especially if you have a football team that's not as good as another team, field position can win a game for a team that's less talented. But St. John's a more talented team here today. You gotta play the percentages.
Oh, good job by Houston to get that ball and get it off. He's run into, no flag as he was run into by 99, and that was James Thompson. But the official ruled no penalty.
They ruled that Patrick Keenan blocked him into the kicker.
And so it'll be Sacred Heart football, trailing 14-0, and we'll take another look at the attempted block.
Watch to the right of your screen right there. Keenan does shove number 99, James Thompson, into his own kicker.
Thompson, one of the local players from Amityville, Long Island. So Gallegani will line up as a wing on the left side, working out of the I formation. Quarterback Peter Flora, young man from Secaucus, New Jersey, handing off to Lauder, and this time the fullback able to get some good yardage as he bangs his way out to around the 30, stopped by Kenny Kraft. And it'll be a gain of about 7. So Lauder's starting to pick up some ground up the middle.
Well, he averages about 4 yards per carry when he gets it. I like the quick hitter. I like that, especially against this St. John's defense. Don't give them a lot of time to react. They're quick. You can't beat them wide. You got to maybe punch it up the middle and see what you can do there.
Lauder's gained 25 yards on 8 carries. It's 2nd down. Let's give him a 6-yard gain there. So it's 2nd and 4. They'll stay on the ground for Lauder. He's met right in the middle of the line that time by Rob Feast, the junior from Mastic out of William Floyd High School on Long Island, who has had another outstanding year. He's solid as a rock, and Bob Ricka says he's my prototype linebacker. So it'll be 3rd down, and let's call it about 3. A long 3 from the 30-yard line. On the keeper, Flora has the first down as he's driven down at the 34-yard line. Good job by Flora on the option, and Rob Feast with the tackle along with Andrew Profit.
It's a nice option when you're quarterback, especially on a day like today where throwing the ball is going to be very, very difficult. Flora, 4 carries now for 18 yards, picked up a first down there.
So it'll be up at the 35-yard line. Sacred Heart picking up a rare first down for them. And it's 1st and 10. Clock moving 5:35 to go first half. St. John's on Jermaine Creighton's 2 touchdown runs, leading 14-0. This time they go to Washington, and Washington, who doesn't like to bang up the middle, picks up yardage to around the 38-yard line, stopped by Anthony Zito. It'll be a gain of about 3 on the play.
I think they're getting to the time of the area, part of the field rather, where they have to maybe try and throw the ball. And Gallegini's got great hands. You know, he gets open, he runs pretty good routes. They should try and throw to him. I know they really don't have much time when Anthony Zito's in the backfield, but it may be a quick slant over the middle.
Flora is 3 for 4 for 21 yards in passing, and he'll keep here and won't get anything. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Richie Hosine. I'll tell you, the linebackers have played another exceptional game for St. John's. They're so quick. St. John's last year's defense was really hurt. They were small and slow. He said, hey, if we're going to stay small, we're going to get quickness. And that has really paid off for St. John's this year.
And that's what you have. I mean, Hosine is very quick. You know, Zito, either whether if he lines down, lines as a down lineman or is running around in the linebacker position, he's very, very fast, passing down.
3rd and 5 from the 40-yard line. Flora will drop the pass. Flag on the play. Chased by Zito. Throws intended for Gallegini. And the pressure by Zito forced that pass to go astray.
That was procedure in the backfield. It looked like Terrence Washington moved just before the snap.
So St. John should decline the penalty. They'll get the ball because it'll be a 4th down situation. But we're talking to Bob Recca, and he said that a guy like Rob Feast lost weight so he could be quicker this year. And that was the emphasis this year, for quickness on defense.
Well, defense has been very, very good. And you're talking about quickness. Number 24, Anthony Zito.
On the offense has been declined. 4th down.
Anthony Zito is quick, and he gets to the quarterback, and he creates problems.
Well, Zito is 195 pounds. You would expect quickness from him. Feast lost weight. Let's take another look at that last play.
Well, we'll take a look and watch Anthony Zito. He's there. He's causing problems. He makes the quarterback throw it a little bit early.
Palazzi gets this one away, and Keno will watch this one bounce. It'll take a St. John's bounce, and they'll have pretty decent field position at around the 26, 27-yard line. We've got a timeout of the field right now. St. John's in the first half with 4 minutes to go, leading 14-0. You're watching St. John's football on New York 55. About 4 on the play, a slow developing play. And Thompson, number 99, was one of the guys who got in quickly, along with Adam Fuller and Greg Noda, number 61, the defensive tackle.
Barry, you mentioned it was windy and chilly. We'll take a look at the fans all bundled up. They're hardy football fans out here on Thanksgiving Day.
No question about that. So it's 2nd and 14 for St. John's, a loss of 4. Sacred Heart's defense done a pretty good job. This time they go inside, and not much happening as the play driven back. And there's Adam Fuller once again.
I think maybe the Sacred Heart team went out and got the tapes of the Stony Brook game, when Stony Brook really shut down Jermaine Creighton for a while in that first half, and they dominated.
That was Yves Delva who carried the ball on that last play, and he was stopped, and it is no gain. 3rd and 14 from the 26. As Creighton is back in the ball game right now as the single setback. Levine dropping straight back. Outlets for Calbera off his hand as he tried to make the diving stop at the 35-yard line. And it'll set up a punting situation for Mike Houston.
A good set of downs for Sacred Heart, but in the sense of generally how to stop the run. And Stony Brook did a very good job in that first half in that game. And St. John's did come back to win it. And Sacred Heart is staying in the game by limiting what St. John's does on the ground.
It's a good point that you make, CJ, because St. John's really has not run the ball that effectively this year. Only 116 yards a game running. Houston, good job to avoid a possible block as he stepped away. Gallegini watches this one bounce by him and will go out of bounds at around the 32-yard line.
That was a beautiful play by Houston. Faking out with the fake punt and then getting it away and getting some distance on it.
Yeah, he got it as he stepped to the left and got a pretty good kick out of it. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Peter Flora, and the Sacred Heart Pioneers trailing St. John's 14-0. And we'll have a 1st down and 10 at the 32-yard line. as Flora looking to get something going offensively here. Works from the eye. Louder, 33 is the fullback. And they go to Louder again into the secondary. And he is finally driven down after he picked up some nice yardage by Kenny Kraft. But a good run by Louder. And Louder's been their most effective player so far in offense, as he picks up about 8 or maybe 9. Clock ticking, 2:13 to go here in the first half. Louder 36 yards, 8 carries. Quick pitch to the far side to the tight end Wilkinson, and he's driven out of bounds by Richie Rodriguez. Wilkinson had caught 8 passes coming in today. Flora had not thrown a touchdown pass all year, and looking to get one on the board today. That's how the Sacred Heart team has struggled. Flora came in with 60 out of 120 for 583 yards. No touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So it is right now 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. On the option, Flora will keep, and great pressure from Robbie Feast, number 40, who was there to bring him down from the backside. Clock is ticking, 1:55, and we'll take another look. On the option, Flora chased from behind by Zito. You see the speed, and Feast was the guy who brought him down from behind. A gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Clock ticking with 1:38 to go. They have not used any of their timeouts here. Flora rolling right, flag on the play as he throws over the head of Gallegani, who is surrounded by 4 Red Storm players. And we may have an interference call. We'll wait for the official to let us know. Gerard Hughes, our referee on this Thanksgiving morning.
Offside on the defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
So St. John's called for the offside, so it'll be 2nd down. And they'll pick up the 5 yards. So instead of 2nd and 8, it'll be 2nd and 3 as they mark it at the St. John's 47-yard line. Flora has a wide receiver set to the right, handing off to Louder, and Louder hit hard, but not before he crossed the 45 to the 44. Andrew Prophet, number 49, who has done a nice job, the junior from Norwalk, Connecticut, who began the season as a starting tight end and moved to defense. It's enough for the 1st down, so they stop the clock with 1:19 remaining. Sacred Heart has 2 timeouts remaining. They used 1 in the first half, and C.J. Papa heading down to the field to get a comment from one of the coaches before our intermission report. Now Flora rolling, gets a good block, throwing, and it's complete to Gallegani, taken down by Josiah Mooney. Shy of the 1st down at around the 35-yard line, so a 9-yard gain. They do not call a timeout. Clock ticking, 55 seconds remaining. There's a look at Gallegani, the senior from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Their leading receiver came in with 34 catches, no touchdowns. Louder up the middle. There is a flag on the play as he bangs his way inside the 35 to around the 33-yard line. Richie Hoseen on the tackle. And C.J. Papa, you're down on the field. Give us a quick update, what you see down there.
Well, what I can tell you, Barry, first of all, is that it's extremely windy, and we've been talking about the wind all afternoon long, and the wind is coming directly from the far side of the field right across into the St. John's players where they're standing on the sideline, and it's remarkable that you can get a pass off and that you can pass it accurately.
Well, and indeed, and ironically enough, Mark Levine has been pretty accurate on his passes, again staying fairly short, and Flora has done a good job. We have an injured player down in the field. We'll try to pick up that player for you in just a moment, who it is. And again, a reminder that we've got more St. John's sports coming your way here on New York 55, as they will rule it a 1st down after the officials conferred. And we've got St. John's basketball coming up on December the 9th. Red Storm basketball, they take on Colgate. And then later in the month of December, we'll be at Manhattan College as Fran Fraschilla has a bit of a homecoming as St. John's travels up to Manhattan.
Well, Barry, and coming up at halftime, as you mentioned, the basketball program, the men's team, we'll be looking at the people who lead the men and women here at St. John's. Charlene Thomas Swinson, who is the women's coach, and Fran Fraschilla. It's an interesting look and they have a lot in common. Yes, they're basketball coaches, but the one thing they really have in common, they're both extremely intense. And we were out of practice, we watched their practice, we have some video from the practice. I think you'll enjoy it.
Hope you'll enjoy it, and we'll be back with more from DeSilva Field in just a moment. You're watching Red Storm football on New York 55. Sacred Heart helped off the field, so as play resumes right now. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Velati, one of their starting offensive linemen, pass to the near sideline, caught, and it is out of bounds. At around the near side, the receiver was O'Coin, number 8. Floyd Chambers on the coverage. That stops the clock with 30 seconds remaining.
You mentioned players who play both sides of the ball. O'Coin is one of them, and he's a very good receiver. Sometimes he lines up in the backfield. You'll see him now. He's lining up to the right side with Gallegini right next to him.
Yeah, CJ, he's their fastest receiver. 20 catches coming in, but only averaging 6.4 yards. Slot to the right. Flora, poor play selection there. Option with 25 seconds to go and counting. What are you thinking there? And now they'll have to call a timeout right here. That'll give them one left, CJ.
As you said, what are they thinking there? I mean, from my vantage point, all I can see, I see the quick hitter, and then you just see a line of red jerseys. There was no room to run there. You've hit a couple of passes. You might as well try another out because incomplete pass, you save time.
Well, St. John's has given up points begrudgingly, only an average of 13.8. You take away the 27 points that Georgetown scored and the 34 that Fairfield scored early in this year, and nobody has scored more than 20 points on St. John's this year. So that's how well this defense has done. Yeah, we'll take another look.
And watch the middle of your screen. Watch the line. Sea of red right there. No chance for the Sacred Heart ball carrier.
Again, CJ, it's that quickness to disrupt plays in the backfield before they can start. And that's what St. John's has done so effectively this year. All right, play resumes now. 3rd and 6, 26-yard line. 22 seconds to go. O'Coin and Gallegini line up wide to the right. Wilkinson wide to the left. And they'll stay on the ground again. Louder trying to pick up the first down here. Stopped as he got maybe back to the 25-yard line. Stopped by Rob Feast. Clock is ticking and now stopped with 13 seconds to go. And it'll be the final timeout taken by Sacred Heart. So again, you kind of question the calls there. Why a couple of running plays, one by Flora and one by Louder? When you're down to the final minute of play, you're trailing 14-0. And Flora, who is not a great passer, not putting it up nevertheless. So timeout here, and they'll bring the entire team to the sideline. As you see, St. John's still on the field defensively. And let's give credit to the Red Storm defense up front. Grizan, Holtz, Del Calo, and the linebackers Prophet, Feast, Hosine, and Zito. And the secondary led by Richie Rodriguez, who earlier this year set a career record with his 15th interception. Also playing back there is Josiah Mooney and Kenny Kraft, the safeties, and Floyd Chambers and Danny Kelski alternating at the right cornerback spot. So apparently they will try a long field goal here, and this will come from the 33-yard line. It'll be a 43-yard attempt. Lou Monaco is out there to try the field goal.
And right now, Barry, the wind is blowing directly in his face.
He's 4 for 6 this year, long of 43. This would be a 43-yard field goal. The holder is Ladd. Backup quarterback. Kick up, the kick on the way, and the kick will die and fade to the right. That ball hooked to the right, left-footed kicker, and it was about 25 yards wide to the right. It just sailed and faded to the right side. So that should just about do it for this first half with 8 seconds remaining. St. John's with a 14-0 lead on a pair of touchdown runs by senior Jermaine Creighton. And let's see if Mark Levine just puts his knee to the ground here. And we'll end this first half as the Red Storm, who have been very tough here at home. They are 5-0 this year at DeSilva Field. They've outscored the opposition 129-35. That's exactly what Levine will do to end this first half of football on Thanksgiving morning. And the Red Storm will head off to the locker room with a 14-0 lead.
You have to be pretty happy if you're St. John's. And as Bob Rick is going to be making his way over to me, Barry, in just a moment. Jermaine Creighton, 57 yards here in the first half. He's got a number of carries. They were able to spring him off very well, getting it open to the left side. Right now, St. John's leading at 14-0. Creighton does have those 2 touchdowns, and Coach Bob Ricker joins me. And Coach, I got to ask you, first half, a lot of wind. Are you happy with the way the team's playing?
Well, we're happy up 14 points, but the wind is chaotic and it's causing a lot of problems out here.
How's it hurting your game plan?
Well, we're trying to adjust because it's more of a crosswind, and at times it comes from the left, at times it comes from the right, so it's just very, very difficult.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. All right, right now we're here at halftime. Jermaine Creighton, couple of touchdowns. St. John's leads Sacred Heart 14-0. You're watching St. John's football live right here on New York 55.
It's Thanksgiving weekend, and everyone gets to relax. Take it easy.
Storm Thanksgiving Tournament. You want to come down and watch the fine basketball team of Charlene Thomas Swinson. You saw featured at halftime with CJ, led by Latricia Ganells and Ebony Dickinson. They'll be playing Creighton at 5 o'clock Friday afternoon here at Alumni Hall, and Toledo at 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon.
And we were talking about the men's team, the women's team, and the men's team. They have a couple of lineup changes. Colin Charles is now starting in place of senior Tariq Turner, and the All-American, the McDonald's All-American, the future, really, of St. John's after Zendon Hamilton and Felipe Lopez graduates. Ron Artest makes his first start in his college career. He's taking the place of Tyrone Grant. He's a good one, Barry. You saw him last week.
Ron has struggled a little bit in the first couple of games. He was in foul trouble in the last game you saw right here on New York 55 last Saturday when they really had their hands full with St. Francis.
Right, that's going to happen. You're young, you're still getting adjusted, and I think Fran Fraschilla has done a good job getting these kids into the program, acclimated. He doesn't allow them to speak to the media for the first semester, and I agree with that. You really want them to concentrate on getting up, going to class, getting to practice, and they get into a routine.
Well, I want to remind you folks that you can catch New York 55's primetime movie tonight at 8, Bugsy, starring Warren Beatty and Annette Bening on WLNY TV New York 55. And then tomorrow night, for the primetime movie at 8, it's L.A. Story, starring Steve Martin and Sarah Jessica Parker, right here on New York 55. And, of course, every night, Monday through Friday, catch the great news team at 10, featuring C.J. Papa and the updated sports report.
Thank you very much, Barry.
I paid a paid announcement for that, CJ.
That's right. You'll get $5 later, and so will my producer, Greg Freeman. He'll be giving you some money.
Here's a coin on the return, and wrestled down by Kenny Kraft, who's one of St. John's leading tacklers. And it'll be Red Storm setting out that potent defense, which held the Pioneers to just 75 yards in that first half. And we'll reset the lineup for you. Peter Flora is the quarterback. Flora was 6 for 8 in that first half. And let's see if they can get something going. Lauder was the featured back as far as running in that first half, as we'll give you some of the individual stats. He's the fullback, number 33. Lauder carried 13 times for 33 yards. And again, good gain up to around the 39-yard line. However, we may have a holding penalty. Josiah Mooney on the tackle. And the flag on the play. Let's see if they bring it back. Not many penalties in that first half, CJ.
Not at all. Very clean first half. Not a very effective first half, especially with this win.
Illegal motion on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Call coming from referee Gerard Hughes. In fact, Pioneers did not have any penalties. St. John's was penalized 3 times for 20 yards. So that nice gain is negated. And it is 1st and 15. Washington is the tailback. Lauder is the fullback, number 33. And this time Washington behind Lauder, hit by Zito, wrapped up and driven by Kenny Kraft. But he was able to pick up about 4 as he crossed the 25 up to around the 27, 28-yard line. It'll set up a second down play.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier during halftime that 14 points may be a little too much for them to overcome. Just say it again, they've been shut out 4 times in 9 games. They've scored 6 offensive touchdowns in 9 games. It's not a very good offense this season.
Peter Flora, the senior from Secaucus. Back to throw. Rolls to the left, lobs it downfield. He's got Coyne out there, and Coyne laying out, trying to come up with the ball. Checking it was Gallegani. and it goes incomplete. Gallegani really stretching out. He's got great hands. He's been their leading receiver the last 2 years, but he just couldn't come up with it.
We've seen a number of times that the receivers are diving for the ball, and after standing on the field at halftime, you can understand why. The ball, when it's in the air, the wind is coming right across the field, and the ball is being pushed away from them or toward the sideline or to the right side of the field if you're looking at the way Sacred Heart is driving, and that's probably why.
See Flores' numbers, 6 for 9 now for 38 yards. Richie Oseen had a terrific first half. We'll give you some of his numbers for St. John's defensively. Flora on the option, got pressured and taken down. Elliot Holtz was in there quickly. He didn't make the tackle, but he forced the tackle right there, which was finally applied by Gregory Delcola, number 52.
Elliot Holtz, very, very quick in the middle. He always gives the centers fit. We'll take another look. You'll see Elliot Holtz, you'll see Anthony Zito, you'll see the quickness of the St. John's defense. There's Zito coming in, forcing him, and then Greg Delcola makes the tackle.
So it is a punting situation. Palazzi got it off. Zito was looking for the ball. Look at that ball just die as it went straight up in the air and caught at the sideline by a St. John's player, by Anthony Canarato, the freshman from Whitestone. But that won't go as a punt return because he was out of bounds. The 12th man.
Well, I'm sure he'll go home and say, hey, I caught a punt today.
Maybe got a little TV time.
Sure, why not?
There's the young man, Zito, out of Half Hollow Hills High School East. Dix Hills, my hometown, at the 46-yard line, 1st and 10 for Mark Levine. Creighton directly behind the quarterback. In the backfield also is Keena. And play action fake. Here's Levine rolling. Avoids the tackle, throws, and it's going to be Chiliotis. Complete inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. However,
there's a flag on the play at the 45-yard line. Let's see what it is. In where the offensive line was, I wouldn't be surprised if it's holding. And it is.
So that will be negated. Gus Chiliotis out of Wantagh High School made the fine reception. Nice rollout pass for Levine, and he put right on the money there.
I don't know if Chiliotis was his first option, but Chiliotis started it about on the left hash mark and went all the way across with his quarterback, had his hand up, I'm open, and finally Mark Levine saw him. Here's the call.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So St. John's hit with the penalty, and referee Gerard Hughes making the call. And we'll have ball move back inside midfield, back into St. John's territory here to the 45-yard line. And there are Mark Levine's stats, 6 for 9, 48 yards. Had a great year last year, was MAC first team selection. Looks like a screen set up here for Keena, and Keena cannot get away. Good job defensively as they stuffed the play at the 45-yard line, had that screen read. Chris Sherman, number 14, the outside linebacker out of Evander Childs High School, made the tackle.
And you were just talking about Mark Levine and having a great year last year, but yet this year he's been a bit unlucky. We've had a couple of games when the weather has been awful. I mean, they played against Canisius in a driving rainstorm. A couple of weeks later against Iona, another driving rainstorm. Quarterback's not going to get a lot of stats or pad his stats by playing in games like that.
No question about it. 2nd and 20 now for the Red Storm. Levine will drop straight back. Scrambling now. Got away. Throws on the run, and it's going to be incomplete. He was looking downfield for his intended receiver, Jermaine Creighton, out of the backfield, and Lenny Francoeur was the man who was there almost to knock it away. Incomplete.
Nice play by Francoeur, staying with the receiver, not going to try and get Levine. You know, Levine can run. We've seen him run before.
So St. John's coming out throwing the football here in the third quarter. Keena will come out. They'll go with an extra wide receiver right here. Chiliotis, Morton, and DeLeo lined up wide to the left, Calbera to the right. Creighton, the single setback on 3rd and 20. Levine in trouble. Oh, got away there. Watched by Fuller, and Fuller will bring him down at midfield. Great pressure initially put on by number 24, Eric Wood. Looked like Wood was going to sack him, but Levine able to get away, but not away from Adam Fuller.
We'll take another look, and you'll see St. John spreads it out. And watch to the right of your screen. Eric Wood is there quickly forcing Levine out of the pocket, and Adam Fuller is not going to let him go down. Co-captain, team leader in tackles.
Picked up about 5 on the play, so Houston will punt here. Houston did a good job punting in that first half, punting for the 7th time. An end-over-end kick will be taken at around the 21-yard line, and trying to return it upfield is Gallegani, and about an 11-yard return brought down by Patrick Kina, and let's call it the 32-yard line.
I'd like to see number 4, Dave Gallegani, get into the offense more, especially here in the second half. I mean, Sacred Heart has got to open it up if they want a chance at winning this game. Good hands, possession receiver, got to take a chance.
Against pace in their last game, he caught 5 passes for 57 yards. He's been the leading receiver the last 2 years. Peter Flora started all but one game this year, an accurate short passer. And Louder hit hard by Rob Feast and driven right down, right at the point of contact. We mentioned Feast and Hoseen. Hoseen had a terrific first half and had something like 9 tackles in that first half, would go with a couple of sacks. And he's been outstanding, and there's his buddy who plays in the middle, Rob Feast, who came up with the tackle right there.
And they're all going to be back next year. Got to like St. John's.
Working out of the eye, they've got to replace Jermaine Creighton. That'll be a couple of big shoes to fill. 2nd and 11 from the 31-yard line. And in trouble, Flora. Initially, Zito was after him, and Zito can't get him this time. Mooney will drag him down as he got around to the 37-yard line. Oh, St. John's was all over poor Peter Flora, and finally they get him down at the 37-yard line, a gain of about 6.
I don't think we've ever seen that, where Anthony Zito's had 2 hits on the quarterback and he's missed it twice. It looked like they were trying to knock the ball away from Peter Flora. We'll get a chance to see it again. Now watch the quarterback, and you'll see Zito come flying in. He misses the tackle there, and the rest of them are trying to knock the ball away right there. Look like instead of tackling, they're trying to knock it away right there again. Mooney tried to do it.
And we go back to the live action. This time Zito says maybe once, maybe twice, but not a third time, young man. And Zito comes up with another sack right here.
Well, this time he just put his head right in the gut of Flora, and he said, "You're going down," and he went down.
Anthony Zito, 5'10", 195-pounder, who runs to the ball. They moved him from defensive back to linebacker and lines up as a defensive end at times.
Probably one of the best moves they made on defense this year.
4th and 17, and the kick away from Tony Palazzi. Kina will call for a fair catch at the 47-yard line, and St. John's will have excellent field position on the 22-yard punt. So the Red Storm leading 14-0 with 9:37 to go here in the third quarter, thanks to a couple of Jermaine Creighton first half touchdown runs of 10 and 1 yard. And Mark Levine will have a 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line for St. John's. St. John's, of course, a member of the MAC Football League, but not eligible for any of the honors this year because of a little dispute. And Creighton off the left side gets inside the 45 to around the 44-yard line, a gain of 3. Stopped by James Thompson. And now Morton will come out of the game, replaced by DeLeo with a play from Bob Rick on the sideline.
Important drive for St. John's. You get the ball on the other team's 47-yard line. If you can punch in a touchdown here, could spell the end for Sacred Heart.
Well, St. John's have been very tough, as we mentioned, here at home, 5-0, and have outscored their opponents by almost 100 points. Only given up 35 points in 6 games. Creighton cannot get away from Hines, Jeff Hines, number 45, the senior from Newfield High School on Long Island, out in Suffolk County, from Selden High School, actually.
I think someone on our offensive line missed a block. Let's take a look. Everyone pulls, and no one takes Hines. You saw Paul and Lapratosa, they pulled, they were trying to run right. I think that time Jermaine had to get out to the right quicker than he did.
A loss of 4 for Creighton on that play. And on 3rd and long, Levine with time. Screens it out here. Cheliotis at the 45 and will pick up short yardage, maybe about 6, as he got to the 43-yard line before he stopped.
Flag down, and I think it's going to be holding.
Greg Nota on the stop. And the officials, the holding flag is back in the St. John's backfield, back at around the 45-yard line. And if you're Sacred Heart, decline the penalty, get the football maybe. And they're talking it over with Sacred Heart captain. And we'll get the call from referee Gerard Hughes. And they will decline it. And it'll be 4th down, and Mike Houston and the punting team come on for the Red Storm. So St. John's unable to take advantage of that good field position. Now try to pin Sacred Heart back inside the 10.
And Houston had a punt earlier in the first half, which went out of bounds at about the 2-yard line.
It's about a 61-yard punt. That was going the opposite direction than he's kicking now. He'll stand back at around the 45-yard line. No rush. High kick. St. John's looking for coverage. Gallegini will field it. Didn't call for a fair catch and is snowed under. Kenny Kraft again, one of the first guys to meet him, along with Danny Kelski. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Sacred Heart.
I think you have to give Gallegini a extra mark for courage there.
6th meeting between these schools. As we said, the rivalry starting back in 1992. St. John's has won all 5 of the games. Sacred Heart, a Division II school, and as CJ mentioned, they'll be moving up to 1AA non-scholarship football, similar to what St. John's is right now.
And St. John's has shut them out twice, working on a 3rd.
Quarterback is Flora, working again out of that I formation. Louder and Washington, the running backs. This is Washington. Quick hitter up the middle, and he bangs his way out to about the 15-yard line, where he's stopped by Rob Feast once again. And you mentioned the shutouts. Last time they met up in Bridgeport, Connecticut last year, St. John's in the opening game of the year shut out Sacred Heart 14-0. Sacred Heart has a beautiful facility up there. The seats about 3,500. It's a relatively new school, just 28 years old, and they've got some fine athletic facilities. 2nd and 5 at the 15. Flora handing off to Louder, and Louder gets close to the 1st down as he had to get to around the 20. They've had a little success going right up the middle tonight, or this afternoon. It's been the only success really running the football.
It's been Louder's bread and butter. The quick hit, they picked up the 1st down there. He gets about 4 yards when he touches the ball.
So the clock ticking. They did not get many 1st downs. Actually, the Pioneers had more 1st downs in the first half than St. John's. And as we mentioned, the Red Storm have done very well against this Sacred Heart team. Flora with a 1st down, fresh set of downs at the 20-yard line. He's got slot right formation. Quick pitch out to O'Coin, and it's ruled incomplete. Ball hit the ground. Prophet was over there defending, along with Josiah Mooney.
O'Coin looked up and saw the red jerseys coming at him, and I took his eye off the ball just for a second.
He's a 2-way starter out of Southbridge, Massachusetts, a senior. He and Gallegini will be departing. This is their final game, and O'Coin leaves. And so will quarterback Peter Flores. So they've got to make quite a few changes, Sacred Heart. And they've got to upgrade the talent level. That's talking to Coach Tom Radulski. He knows that. They played a much tougher schedule this year. Got blown out by Post in Albany earlier in the year. Louder tripped up. Once again, it was Andrew Prophet who got in very quickly to break up the play.
Well, that comes with time, Barry. In recruiting, you can't do it overnight. It's not like in basketball where you can get 3 good players in one recruiting class and you can go from a 500 team to 21 season. In football, you need to have a lot of players, and it takes a lot of time to build up your reputation for a school. And it's tough to recruit kids when you're 1-8. You're finishing a year 1-9.
Now, Tom Radulski earlier had coached at the University of Massachusetts Lowell, the Division II program. He was head coach from 93 to 95 there. Flora in trouble, dumps it off. This is Washington. Rodriguez had him wrapped up. Zito will finish him off. As initially the quarterback on that pitch, he had a man right in his face, Josiah Mooney.
Josiah Mooney and Eric Grazan were both there. The St. John's defense all the way up. 3 and out for Sacred Heart.
So Sacred Heart will be forced to punt. They did pick up a 1st down to give them a little breathing room. This punt will come from about the 15-yard line. Keena is back deep. And those ball sailing to Morton on the near sideline. Hits him, I think, as it went out of bounds. He wasn't sure what he was going to do right there. We know what we're going to do right now. We're going to take a break. Time out of the field with St. John's leading 14-0 on New York 55. From New York 55, Barry Landers along with C.J. Papa. Red Storm with a 14-0 lead, 5:17 to go. 3rd quarter, they take over at their own 44-yard line. Mark Levine, movement in the line.
On the right guard. Looked like Vic Donardi.
Vic Donardi, the freshman from Wappinger Falls. Haven't talked about that freshman, freshman-dominated line. They're starting to come on a little bit. Hakeem Gaines, number 77, 6'3", 270 pounds.
Durable, played the whole year.
Yep, and Donardi's
Football
played the
foul,
right side.
full start on the offense, still first down.
Steve Gordon's done a good job. He was out a little while with injury at the center position. That left guard spot's been filled with a lot of injuries, but Lapertosa filling in for Eduardo Ramos, who earlier was filling in for the injured Steve Fazzolaro.
And that's been a position where they've had a number of players have to come in. That's the one position you don't want to play, left guard, in the St. John's offensive line.
It's the jinx position. Back with James Paul. Look like they're blitzing here, and they'll stay on the ground. And a swarm of tacklers at the 40-yard line.
The one thing I've noticed is when either team takes a penalty, it's been very difficult for them to pick up the yardage they've lost. That's how difficult it has been gain just to gain 10 yards.
Yeah.
And when you have to gain 1st and 15 or 1st and 20, you're really in a hole.
Creighton picked up a couple of yards. He now has 21 carries for net of 56 yards. Creighton came into this game with 4,210 yards. Second all-time to the great Anthony Russo, who he replaced 4 years ago. 2nd and 14. A little flea flicker here. Perhaps Calbera was thinking he was going to throw the football, and now he gets back to the 45-yard line. Brought down by Ben Romeo, number 2, the defensive back.
Well, he was looking for James Morton, who was on the 40-yard line of Sacred Heart, but he didn't get a chance to set his feet and throw the ball. There was a Sacred Heart defensive player in his face, and that's why you have to turn it upfield and try and run. Nice imagination on that play by St. John's.
Well, when you have a guy who could throw the football in the wide receiver position, you could do a lot of things to fool the team, and that play worked earlier in the year when Calbera actually threw a touchdown pass at Duquesne when St. John's pulled off the huge upset, knocking off 2-time defending champion Duquesne earlier this year. 3rd and let's call it 9. Levine looking left, now throwing to the sideline. The receiver fell down, Calbera, and it goes incomplete. Ben Romeo was there defending on the play.
Intended for Calbera.
So it'll set up a punting situation for the Red Storm. And Mike Houston once again coming into the game.
Mark Levine shaking up a little bit on that play, walking slowly to the sideline.
So it'll be Tim O'Coin back to receive the kick at the 25-yard line. And Houston will kick from about the 35. Sunbathed St. John's University on a chilly day. Plenty of time this time for Houston. And this is Gallegani who will field it on the run. Tripped up. Beautiful open field hit by Tommy Melendez, the senior from El Paso, Texas. That's a long way to go to St. John's University.
And he's not the only native of the Lone Star State on this roster. Josiah Mooney also. He's from Tyler, Texas. He chose the school here because he wants to be a lawyer and thinking about St. John's Law School.
They've got a great law school here. Want to thank all the St. John's people here that have been such a help throughout our football season. We'll mention their names a little bit later. Right now it's 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line for Sacred Heart. 3:37 to go in this third quarter. Flora is out of the game right now, and we have a new quarterback in the game for Sacred Heart, number 12, Steve Ladd, the sophomore from Newbury, Massachusetts. He has not played much this year. Rob Feast on the tackle. So Ladd comes in the ball game, and we'll get a look at what he can do. He played one game earlier this year when Peter Flora did not play, and try to give you some of his stats when we have an opportunity.
They moved him from quarterback to defensive back and forth. He can another one of those players who goes both ways.
Stay on the ground. This is Washington rammed down as he got to around the 33-yard line, maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Once again, Rob Feast on the stop along with Andrew Prophet.
And here comes Flora back into the game.
So Flora will come back in the game. So a couple of plays for Ladd. Flora, finance major, has been inconsistent this year. He threw the short pass well. Was the opening day quarterback against St. John's last year when they were shut out 24-0. And on 3rd, he'll throw for the near sideline looking for Wilkinson. Well covered, and the ball sails out of bounds. As defending on the play was Floyd Chambers.
With him step for step, Barry. You know, Chambers is only 5'9", 170. Wilkinson 6'3", 210. And he didn't give up anything in terms of muscle stayed with him the whole way.
He's going to be quite a player, Wilkinson. 6'3", as you mentioned, 210, tight end, and they look for him. He's only a sophomore to provide some big plays in the future. Palazzi's punt, end over end. And Morton, boy, this one hits somebody upfield and will be down. That's the way it's been. Hit a Sacred Heart player, and St. John's takes over at the 45.
Good thing you wore his helmet.
On this cold day, that could really sting you, right? So Mark Levine will come out. Again, the St. John's defense, as it has been all year, doing a great job against really a weak offensive unit from Sacred Heart. I mentioned Sacred Heart has had a tough time scoring points. They lost their last game. And they lost to Pace 19-7. They were shut out by Monmouth and Bentley in their previous two games. They've had only 14 points in the last 4 games.
And they scored 27 of their 61 points this year in one game against Assumption.
So here's Mark Levine on 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line for St. John's. See if they can get Creighton at least over the 100-yard mark today. Done a good job shutting him down. Slant pattern incomplete as he was looking for his receiver breaking in. And that was Morton.
It was a good idea. Good call.
Again, James Morton, the future for St. John's, just a freshman from Monsignor Farrell High School in Staten Island.
Coach Bob Burkett talks highly about him, thinks he can be a really productive, big play receiver in the future.
Mark Levine on right now, 2nd down on the draw play. Creighton cuts back, and Creighton will still drive to midfield. Good second effort by Creighton.
Nice run by Jermaine. You know, we've talked about him. You know, he likes to run in the tackles. He likes to knock people over. He's a good runner, and you saw some cutback ability there.
Creighton 22 carries, 62 yards. And he has had another productive day today with a couple of touchdown runs. 3rd and 5. Levine dropping back to throw, looking with time. Now throws intended for Keena and could not get it at the 45-yard line. He was well covered on the play. Mario Torres, number 47, was there. And we mentioned Creighton, the terrific career he's had. And with the yardage he's picked up today, you can see he's second behind the great Anthony Russo all-time rushing. Dennis Blygen, who played back in the early 80s, got a shot with the Jets. Manny DeSantis, another Long Island player out of Comsawag. And the great Todd Jameson, who was the quarterback back at that same era for Dennis Blygen.
But it's amazing when you look at the numbers from 90 to 97. Bob Ricca has had a fantastic running back. Russo, Creighton.
Houston, beautiful kick. Gallegani will field it, have trouble with it, and St. John's trying to recover it, still loose, and in the end zone, St. John's recovers. And let's see, is the man who comes up with the football there, in a pile up there. And it may be number 88 Melendez for St. John's, Tom Melendez. And it is the 6'1", 185-pound Texan. He says, I'm hungry, I'm a long way from home. That's my Thanksgiving present.
I tell you, Gallegani lost where he was on that one. Catching it, we'll take another look. Now watch Gallegani over his shoulder, try and make the catch. The ball pops loose, hits off a St. John's player, goes in the end zone. Melendez dives on it for the touchdown.
Well, last week, Zito blocked a punt, and Mooney recovered it in the end zone for a touchdown. That was their last game against Iona. So this opportunistic defense comes up with 6 points right there. The special teams really here. And they go for the 1-point extra point. Soto, who's only missed 2 all year, will put this one up. And this one will be a miss here as he drove it to the upright. So Soto keeps the score at 20-0. And for St. John's, a very comfortable lead with 1:15 to go. But we talked about your defense and your special teams. And there's a case of Tommy Melendez being in the right place at the right time, coming up with that football for the St. John's 6 points.
Tommy Melendez, and we're checking on it, but we think it's the first touchdown he's had in his career here at St. John's. He didn't have one last year.
Well, he doesn't play much. He's a wide receiver, just plays on the special teams. He's a senior. He's been a program kid here at St. John's. But that's the kind of year St. John's have been an opportunistic team, taking advantage of other teams' mistakes. Defense, special teams coming up with big plays.
Rich Rodriguez breaking it with 6 interceptions this year, with 15 in his career, the all-time leading interception leader. We saw it in an earlier broadcast we did against St. Peter's. St. Peter's was driving for a game-tying touchdown, an interception, turned it around. St. John's scored. We saw it earlier today. Fumble. St. John takes it in. And once again, Sacred Heart, a poor decision by Gallegani, leads to 6 points for St. John's.
He muffs the punt, and Melendez makes him pay. This one will be watched by Washington, bounce into the end zone. That'll be 1st and 10 for Sacred Heart with 1:09 to go in this third quarter. Well, we mentioned St. John's dominance on this field, and they really play well on the turf here. You look at their record, they'll finish with a victory today, 8-3. They lost to Fairfield, 34-21. They could have won that game. Lost in the mud conditions up at Siena, 12-7. They were only game they were really outplayed and outclassed was Georgetown, losing 27-0.
Georgetown has done that to most of the teams they've played this year. They're a terrific team, and I tell you, St. John's 8-3. You can't be unhappy with that, especially we've touched on it a lot. Defensively, they started 6 seniors, and then through a couple of injuries, they've got
to one.
Football foul, full start on the offense, still first down.
So Sacred Heart picks up the penalty. There is Rodriguez, number 20, and captain out of Nazareth Regional High School in Brooklyn. He's been a real leader on this team. You mentioned the interceptions. He's had 6 this year, a career record of 15. And he is the only senior on the current 11 that are starting that'll be graduating. Flora in trouble, will scramble here. Nice cutback, crosses the 21 to the 22-yard line. A pickup of 7 on the play. And he's stopped by the Red Storm. Rob Feast and Richie Hoseen, the 2 inside linebackers. Clock is ticking, down 50 seconds. Again, staying in that I formation. It's been their base formation all day. Flora in trouble, unloads and throws it. He got pressure that time from Greg Del Colo as he unloaded the ball, looking on the near side for Gallegani.
Del Colo came in nearly unblocked, and it's a good thing he got that ball away.
Yeah. I want to thank all the fine people from St. John's, Sports Information Director, the head, who's not here today, Dominic Ciani's with the St. John's basketball team, his able assistants, Doug Beaumont, who's done a great job with the soccer program and helping us out with football, John Houlihan, and also Chris DiLorenzo, and who cannot forget our spotter today, doing a terrific job today, and it has been a great job by our spotter. That's Ricky DeLeo. Couldn't read my own writing, Ricky, but I apologize, as St. John's will take over.
Well, Rich Rodriguez has done a phenomenal job this season. He's out there covering Wilkinson, and right there, Wilkinson had no chance. He's a glove, Rodriguez.
Yeah, he is. Kina will watch this one bounce. Again, it takes a St. John's bounce sideways. They'll have the ball at the 43-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Red Storm, comfortably in front 20-0, with just 20 seconds to go here in this third quarter. Let's see if St. John's will make any changes here. Still early enough that they'll stay with their starters. Of course, Mark Levine will be back next year. And the only man to graduate, as we mentioned, Jermaine Creighton. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line for St. John's. And Levine on 1st down to throw. Throwing, and it's going to be incomplete. He was looking at time for Cheliotis. Dave Gallegani on the coverage.
Nice play. Broke to the ball quickly. Dove, got his hand on it. Good play by Gallegani.
So now DeLeo will check into the game, replacing Morton on 2nd down for St. John's. Clock stops with 13 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. Barry Landers and C.J. Papa from St. John's University, wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. On the draw play, this is Creighton. And Creighton will get inside the 40 to around the 38-yard line. Pickup of around 4 or 5 on the play. And brought down by Greg Noter. And that should do it for the third quarter. As the third quarter here at St. John's has come to an end. And the Red Storm with a comfortable 20-0 lead. And you're watching St. John's football on New York 55. Overfield, happy Thanksgiving to you one and all. Hope your Thanksgiving is a good one so far. Get that turkey in the oven. If it isn't there, it should be ready soon.
And didn't you promise you were bringing turkey for the crew?
Kind of reneged. Brought some pretzels and cookies maybe, but that dessert, I'm a dessert guy.
Barry's homemade famous turkey. That's what I was been
My
waiting.
wife's got it in the oven right now. 3rd and 6 for St. John's at the 38-yard line. Play action fake. Here's Levine rolling. He'll tuck it under. Levine looking for the first down. Has it inside the 30 and around the 29-yard line.
He had Calbera wide open. I was just about to say, throw the ball, throw the ball. He decided to run. Not a bad decision.
Yeah, Torres and Romeo finally stopped him. That's something we haven't seen Mark Levine do a whole lot this year. He's a pretty good runner. And perhaps, maybe in the future next year with better offensive line, he may do that a little bit more.
And especially if they have a running back who isn't as good as Jermaine Creighton. Not many running backs come in like Creighton did and gain over 1,000 yards in their freshman season.
Levine to a wide open receiver down the sideline. Cheliotis cuts back and driven down inside the 5 and around the 3-yard line. Wes Cheliotis running a nice pattern and good yards after the catch. Mario Torres, number 47, one of the tacklers, but it'll be goal to go for the Red Storm.
We'll take another look. Cheliotis, the tight end, will be wide open on the near side of your screen. The rollout right on the money, stops and turns it upfield, gains as much yard as he can. Now, last time they ran left here, Barry. They ran left. Let's see if they do it again.
Levine 9 for 17 for 81 yards so far. Creighton with 2 touchdowns so far. He'll try again, dancing at the line of scrimmage and drives forward inside the 5. We'll get to around the 3 where he's brought down. As they unpile right there. Adam Fuller at the bottom of the pile there.
St. John's now imposing their will on Sacred Heart. St. John's is taking control of the game, trying to score another touchdown here in the second half.
Creighton now with 24 carries, 67 yards. And he has gone close to the 4,300-yard mark in his career. First and goal, or check that, in a second and goal for the Red Storm. And Levine rolling, throws now off the intended receiver, incomplete. Levine was thinking about going himself. He had a man at the end of the end zone, DeLeo.
It looked like he had Calbera wide open.
Yep.
Either he didn't spot him or he thought the guy was on him.
So it's 3rd and goal from the 3 as Morton comes in for DeLeo with a play from the sideline. St. John's looking to put one in here. They've had 1 touchdown on a fumble recovery in the end zone by Tom Melendez and 2 running touchdowns from Jermaine Creighton. He's the single setback as they go with 3 wide receivers. And this is Creighton using that speed off the left side into the end zone. Jermaine Creighton with a 3-yard touchdown run. His 3rd of the day, and the Red Storm open up a 26-0 lead.
I tell you, every time they've scored, they've run left. There was no one there for the Sacred Heart defense. Jermaine Creighton, 3 touchdowns, 25 carries, 69 yards this afternoon. A senior tailback playing his final game in his career here at St. John's. A well-spoken, thoughtful young man with a good burst of speed for the touchdown.
38th career touchdown for the young man from Wyandanch out on Long Island. And Soto to attempt the extra point. His last one hit the upright, you'll recall. Calbera, the holder. This one is up, and this one is no good as well. Time out of the field. St. John's early in the 4th quarter with a commanding 26-0 lead. You're watching St. John's football on Thanksgiving on New York 55. 6-0 over the Sacred Heart Pioneers out of Bridgeport, Connecticut. And Red Storm will be kicking off after the Jermaine Creighton 3rd touchdown run of the day. Earlier he had scored from 10 and 1 yard out. This one a 3-yard pop. And Creighton winding up a really outstanding career here at St. John's. He had 166 yards and a couple of touchdowns in his last game against Iona. This one bouncing around and we fielded at the 15-yard line. And having trouble with the ball, losing it was the returner. I think it was Washington. And St. John's has come up with the ball once again. And the Red Storm with a third fumble recovery, Paul Carrazzo. He's a freshman running back out of Massapequa, the backup fullback. And the Red Storm have the ball after another turnover at the 18-yard line.
Well, I tell you, Barry, turnovers. And when you're a team that is the underdog coming into a game, it's a battle of field position and a battle of turnovers. They've had too many today to be successful. There's another one.
We're going to get a quarterback change right here. Chuck Aiello, the 6'180" freshman quarterback from Smithtown, is in the ball game right now for St. John's. So Aiello in the ball game right now as the quarterback. And we get a flag thrown, so Mark Levine probably through for the day.
Well, we have a moment. Let's take a look at how St. John's got that. There's the ball carrier knocked away and recovered by St. John's.
Give credit to Ernest Owusu, the special teams coach. St. John's special teams have done a great job this year.
Second fumble again by Terrence Washington.
So Aiello barking out signals. Creighton remaining in on that penalty, a 5-yard walk-off against Sacred Heart. And Creighton gets the call, tries the right side, chased by Gallegani, who forces him inside. And Creighton taking down a coin coming up from the secondary. I have mentioned that the new quarterback in the ball game is Chris Aiello. And it'll be second down and short yardage for the Red Storm. Loss on the play. It's actually going to be long yardage, 2nd and 15. So I beg your pardon. As Calbera lines up wide to the left. St. John's has Greg DeCampion as a wide receiver to the right. Aiello back to throw, has time. Freshman rolling left. He's got room to run. Creighton was wide open downfield, and he's taken down on the far side of the field. Sherman, number 14, one of the first guys to hit him.
Maybe a little inexperience there. Barry didn't want to pull the trigger right away. Jermaine Creighton out of the backfield there. Nobody picked him up. He was wide open standing at the 10 and walked back a little more. It was near the end zone.
That's not a
Couldn't
guy
get it to him.
You want to leave open. Tommy Melendez now is checked into the ball game as a wide receiver. One of the heroes for St. John's when he recovered the fumble in the end zone. And wide to the right is DeCampi. Aiello throwing, and it's going to be complete at the 20-yard line. Short gain of about 3 yards. And the intended receiver and making the catch was, I believe, Melendez. It'll be a short pickup. Now Kina will come in with a play from the sideline. So Bob Ricca substituting liberally here.
I think that could be it for Jermaine Creighton. He's out on the sidelines.
Eves Delva checks out of the ball game. A new running back in for St. John's, Paul Newman.
Love that name.
He's the sophomore running back, 5'8", 165 from Bayside at a Holy Cross High School. And on 4th down, St. John's going to go for it. A little screen pass to Akina, and he's wrapped up at the 20-yard line and snowed under. So good charge that time by Sacred Heart, and they'll get the football back. Adam Fuller leading the charge, and Jermaine Creighton on the sideline probably has seen the finish of his St. John's career today.
And number 22 has done it all in his 4 years at St. John's. You know, when he came in, coming in and for Anthony Russo, in his first year he gained 1,164 yards. So quite a number for a freshman.
Peter Flora is the quarterback. We have a new tailback. We'll pick it up for you in a moment as they send Gallegani in motion. And the pass intended for Gallegani hit him right on the numbers and goes incomplete. Defending on the play was Kenny Kraft, and that stops the clock. We're here with 10:54 to go. 4th quarter, St. John's leading at 26-0. Jermaine Creighton has been the story with 3 touchdown runs, 38 for his terrific career, 9 this year. Joe Avino is in as the tailback now. Here's a pass for Wilkinson along the near sideline. A flag goes down as defending on the play for St. John's was Danny Kelski.
Interference.
So that should give a first down to the Pioneers.
We'll take another look. Wilkinson working on Kelski. Difference in size right there. He just gets in front of him. Doesn't allow him to catch the ball.
Wilkinson at 6'3", Kelski at about 5'10 and a half. And I think if you're St. John's now, and Bob Rickey said, we want to pitch another shutout. We want this defense, which is among the leaders in the country in yardage allowed and in points allowed this year, to go out on the kind of note that has really signaled the whole season. So you don't want to commit penalties. You don't want to give them any field position at all. You want to make them earn it.
And unlike in the pro game where the interference penalty goes to where the penalty happened, it's 15 yards here in the college game, so it really doesn't hurt you as much.
Ball at the 35-yard line. Don't forget, St. John's basketball coming away at New York 55, December 9th. The Red Storm taking on Colgate. We'll have it for you live at 7:30. Complete on the far side to O'Coin, and it'll be a very short gain for about 2 or 3 yards. Once again, Josiah Mooney, one of the tacklers, and he was really unselfish. He moved from offense to defense. He's a terrific athlete. They came over from Texas, as you mentioned earlier. Andrew Prophet also in on that last tackle. 2nd and 7 from the 38. Laura throws to the far side. It is complete. And the receiver, Gallegini, going out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. Dave Gallegini winding up what has been a pretty good career at Sacred Heart. Seeing the program go from Division III to Division II. And next year it'll be a 1AA non-scholarship program. Playing in the Northeast Conference. They're going to play with schools like Wagner, Monmouth.
Good basketball conference.
Yep. St. Francis of Pennsylvania, Robert Morris. And up the middle, they'll go with Louder. And Louder gets short yardage to the 47-yard line, stopped by Josiah Mooney.
Interesting, we saw Coach Bob Ricka take Jermaine Creighton out of the game, and number 20, Rich Rodriguez, playing in his final game, the senior.
He's still in there.
He's still in there.
Throwing for the near sideline, Rodriguez defending on Wilkinson. Ball sailing out of bounds, stopping the clock with 9:50 to go.
That's a tough pass to throw on a day like today. As you said, sailing, once you throw that ball to the out, if you don't have a lot of arm strength with John Elway arm, that ball's going to take off.
And it indeed did. St. John's with more changes in the secondary. Jesse Zuckerman, a freshman linebacker out of Brooklyn in the game, 5'11", 210-pounder, number 44. I'll tell you got to love the St. John's linebackers. Prophet, Feast, Hosine, and Zito, they'll all be back next year. They've done a marvelous job throughout the year. 3rd and 8 from the 48. Flora with time, throwing for the sideline, reaching out to try to come up with the ball is the receiver, Tim O'Coin, number 8. And Kelski was defending on the play. So it'll be a punting situation once again for Tony Palazzi. He has been very busy today, Tony Palazzi.
Surprised his leg isn't tired.
He's the center as well as the punter. Morton is back along with Keena. This one goes straight up in the air and not very far. It takes a little bit of a bounce and will be bouncing for Sacred Heart down to around the 31-yard line. A 17-yard punt. Line of scrimmage was the 48. And it'll be 1st and 10 for St. John's at the 31-yard line. And more changes for the Red Storm. We'll pick them up for you. Carrazzo will come in as fullback as he was on the last series. Greg DeCampi in at wide receiver, number 39 for the Red Storm. And the quarterback is Chris Aiello. Matthew Gizzi, number 26, a speedster, is in the game for the first time. He's carried the ball a few times this year. He's out of Massapequa, or check that out of St. James, Smithtown High School. Aiello fumbling the snap from center, and it looks like Sacred Heart has recovered. First turnover by the Red Storm. Mario Torres, number 47, coming up with the ball on the exchange mix-up.
Well, mix-up, new quarterback in. We'll see the replay. Aiello, inexperienced, just doesn't get his hands on the ball, and there you see Torres recover.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Sacred Heart. 9:24 to go this 4th quarter. would love to avoid being shut out by this Red Storm team, and they've got excellent field position. St. John's trying to stop him here, and they go to Lauder, and he's been pretty strong. The 185-pound sophomore bangs his way inside the 25 to around the 23-yard line. Stopped by Eric, checked out by Andrew Prophet. Pickup of around 7 on the play. Second and about, let's call it 2.5. Again, they'll stay on the ground. Lauder trying to bang his way close to the first down. Let's see where they spot it. Had to get to about the 20.5-yard line.
Well, best chance for Sacred Heart to get some points on the board here in the second half.
Ryan DeVerna on the stop. Lauder 17 carries, 43 yards. And now Flora doesn't like what he sees. It was looking like he was going to have to call a timeout here. Play clock running down. He'll hand off again to Lauder, trying to pick up the first down straight up the middle. And didn't get much there.
No, he didn't.
Ryan DeVerna, I believe, one of the tacklers.
But it's 2-down territory, and they have about a half a yard to make this. I think you'll probably see the same play again.
Jesse Zuckerman also in on the stop, number 44. Sacred Heart with Joe Avino as the tailback. So it is 4th and 1. St. John's lucky to make a defensive stop here. And on the quarterback keeper, Flora has apparently made the first down. Got to the 20. It's Jesse Zuckerman on the tackle. So they do have a first down. The clock stopped momentarily as they move the chains. 7:57 to go. Fourth quarter. St. John's with a 26-0 lead. Flora on first down to throw. Throwing for the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. Throwing on the far side for a coin. And Kelski was defending.
Sort of flipped it out there. It really got hung up in the wind and went out.
So the clock stopped with 7:45 to go. Second down coming for Sacred Heart's Pioneers.
We have Rodriguez and Wilkinson out on the left side all by themselves. Maybe they'll throw to the other side.
O'Coin out there, that right side. Flora looking up the middle. It's going to be way over the head of any intended receiver. Flag, however, thrown on the play. We get pass interference against St. John's. Gallegani was held up trying to get toward that ball.
He did push him. We'll get a number. I think it was number 49, Andrew Prophet. And Flora is down.
Well, the senior is on the field right now down. And clock is stopped as the training staff will come out to check him out. While he's down, we'll step away. St. John's leading at 26-0 on New York 55.
This holiday, Friendly's unlocks the flavor of our new combination dinners. The new tender steak and shrimp combination, the plump chicken and shrimp combination, or the flaky haddock and steak. And when you order any of these perfect combinations, you'll get a classic Jubilee Roll Sundae for just 79 cents. A 79-cent sundae with any dinner.
At the 9-yard line. And the handoff going to the tailback. And I believe that is Washington, or is it Avino, banging his way inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. A little hard to pick up right here. The ball carrier. I believe it was Washington who's back in the game. Steve Ladd is the quarterback, number 12, replacing the injured Flora. Second and goal at the 5. Again, Washington up the middle. Still great drive as he goes on second effort to about the 1-yard line. Good second effort by Washington there.
And he doesn't like the run in between the tackles. Nice move, powerful move. Driving the pile back. Sacred Heart close to cashing in.
He's built low to the ground, 5'9", 190. And it is third and goal from about the 1. Did they get in? Yes, they did. So they get on the board here, and it is now 26-6 on the keeper that time. And St. John's gives up begrudgingly the touchdown here.
First touchdown for Sacred Heart in 8 quarters against St. John's.
Lou Monaco will attempt the extra point out of the hold of Flora, who's back out there, at least a hold. Ball down. Monaco's kick is up, and the kick is good. So Sacred Heart ruins St. John's shutout bid as they score with 6:46 to go to make it 27-7. So they took advantage of the roughing the passer penalty, and that hurt St. John's badly there.
Well, we've been talking about how penalties have been hurting.
And we have another flag on the kick on the extra point, apparently unsportsmanlike conduct. So tempers flaring a little bit down there, as you see from our end zone camera here at De Silva Field.
Dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct. St. John's 15-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff.
So Red Storm being assessed with a penalty. I want to thank also the fine people here at St. John's, Ed Minetta, the athletic director, and his entire staff for their support and helping you bring St. John's football, basketball, and soccer your way. And again, congratulations to the soccer team playing Sunday afternoon at Adelphi University, round 2 of the NCAA tournament. They're down to the Sweet 16. 1 o'clock game, they'll take on South Florida. And should they advance, they'll play probably Indiana next week out in Indiana. So congratulations to St. John's soccer team. Dave Mazer going after their 2nd consecutive national championship.
Tough road, you know, having to play South Florida, then Indiana, at Indiana. If
well, you
they
got to
make
beat
it
them all.
that far.
They played a home game last week, sort of a home game at Adelphi last week. Can't play here at St. John's because the NCAA requires you to play on a grass surface. In fact, there's news that St. John's is getting a new soccer facility in a couple of years. One of the alumni is donating some big bucks. Onside kick by Monaco. Far side ball bouncing around. Scramble for it. And let's see who's going to come up with it. St. John's apparently has got it.
By the way, the coaches were jumping on the Sacred Heart side. We couldn't really make it out, but it looked like one of the players had his hands on the ball and then lost it. Almost worked.
Well, the last touchdown by Ladd on that quarterback keeper to put Sacred Heart on the board, and St. John will stay with their backup players. Let's take another look at the touchdown from about a yard out on 3rd and 1.
Gets the snap, puts his head down, simple play, he's in the end zone.
So Ladd gets his first touchdown. He's only a sophomore, and we'll see if he's going to be a player of the future for this team. Aiello is the quarterback. He'll throw, complete to the near side to Greg DeCampi to the 41-yard line. Russ Newkirk, number 25, on the tackle. Anthony Zito, we highlighted him at the open. He's a character, but what a player this guy is.
Fast,
Zito.
Fast, causes problems, gets into the backfield, gets quarterback sacked, just keeps the opposing offense off balance. When you have a player like that, and then you have linebackers like Thies and Hoseen and Prophet, you're going to be successful.
St. John staying on the ground. Newman slicing his way across the 45 to the 48. Close to the first down, but we have a flag on the play as he was stopped by Jeff Hines. Well, a lot of new faces in the lineup for St. John's, both on the offensive line and in the backfield. You're going to get a lot of penalties maybe here. Number 75 is Rudley Larison, a freshman from Brooklyn at 6'4", 290 on the offensive line.
Well, out of the game now is Jermaine Creighton. Jermaine has 38 career touchdowns, number 22. Fantastic career at St. John's, 4-year starter, over 1,000 yards 3 times. And take a look at the all-time leading rusher. He passes Tom McPherson, who's an assistant coach here at St. John's, one of the best wide receivers in school history, a 4-year starter for Coach Ricca between 91 and 94. What an offense they were. McPherson and Anthony Russo teamed together. That's a lot of touchdowns, 96 total, the two of them. Jermaine Creighton, a terrific player for Bob Ricca.
Well, St. John's had some great players, Scott Cessny, Dennis McDermott, and looking to pick up the first down, they go to Carrazzo on the fullback. Picks up the first down as he got the ball to midfield. That'll keep the drive alive with 5.5 to go. So Carrazzo picks up the short yardage and up for the first down. They'll mark it up at the 48-yard line. Make it the 49. That'll be 1st and 10 for St. John's. Also in the ball game for St. John's, Omar Rivez, sophomore wide receiver, number 16. Aiello on first down. Will hand off And nothing going there as Jeff Hines breaks up the play. And being stopped.
Ball carried by Canariato.
Anthony Canariato, freshman running back from Whitestone.
So Anthony getting his first bit of playing time right here. St. John's will send Anthony out of the ball game, so he got his one run. He says, I had my moment in the sun.
I have my stat for this year.
And Gizzy replaces him in the backfield. Gizzy's a speedster. He was hurt earlier in the year. Aiello with time, looking to throw. It is complete, shy of the first down as he got it up to Tommy Melendez.
Nice play by Chris Aiello. Number 14, the quarterback, stood in there until the last possible moment. He got hammered by Eric Wood, drove him to the turf, but just before Wood got there, Aiello got the ball away for the completion.
Aiello to Melendez.
Aiello's pass.
So St. John's picks up some yardage. Freshman to the senior. It's third, and let's call it 2 from the 42-yard line. St. John's leading at 26-7. 3:57 to go in the season for both clubs. St. John's will stay on the ground, and this time Yves Delva will be stopped. Delva had a 22-yard touchdown run against Iona in the last St. John's game. Had a 25-yard run in our game earlier this year against St. Peter's. He's a kid with outstanding speed, but playing behind Creighton, you're not going to get much chance to run.
But when he got in there, he's made the most of his chances. Number 23, Yves Delva. He's fast. He hits the hole. And he can be gone before you know it.
He's explosive, young man out of Brooklyn. St. John's will punt here. Houston coming in to punt. Yeah, St. John's gets the punting team in with 3:15 to go.
And Acoin are deep.
It's been Jermaine Creighton with 3 touchdowns. Houston couldn't handle it, has the presence of mind to recover it, and will get it off again as he bangs this one downfield, and it will go in the end zone where it'll be a touchback. So good job by Houston in having trouble, but have the presence of mind to recover and get the kickoff. There's a look at Mike.
Nice job. That's all I have to say. Nice job.
Well, no part of this television broadcast may be reproduced without the explicit or written consent of WLNY TV Incorporated. And hope you've enjoyed our St. John's football coverage. This is the 4th football game we've had for you. Bob Ricker's record will increase now to 128, 76-1. You know, he's going to be inducted a Lifetime Achievement Award later in the month of December, given by the American Football Foundation. And Flora back in the game and throwing. That is quite an honor. That's going to be over in New Jersey. And we want to congratulate Bob Ricca, a well-deserved award for a guy who's put so much into this program. 20 years as the varsity head coach. Started the program back in '72. They were club football before they became varsity.
Well, Bob Ricca has done a magnificent job. He talks about the players being consistent. He's very consistent. We've just spoken to other coaches. They've said, it's a Bob Ricca team. We know what they're going to be like. They're going to be tough defensively. They don't have too many turnovers. You know what you're getting when you come here to St. John's.
There haven't been any coaches that I could think of been around that long. And in fact, his pass is complete to Wilkinson. Dom Neely, who coached him at CW Post, who's now with the Carolina Football Club down there in the professional, the Panthers, he too is going to be inducted or get this Lifetime Achievement Award. And, Bob was saying, gee, it's a thrill to go in with your coach from college back some 25 years ago.
That probably rarely happens that you get a chance like that.
So Dom Neely, who was a great coach at CW. Wilkinson, Dom Neely, who coached him at CW Post, who's now with the Carolina Football Club down there in the professional, the Panthers, he too is going to be inducted or get this Lifetime Achievement Award. And, Bob was saying, gee, it's a thrill to go in with your coach from college back some 25 years ago.
That probably rarely happens that you get a chance like that.
So Dom Neely, who was a great coach at CW.